long time ago. It really is a solid fighter, and not many people acknowledge that, because, like, it really is like Virtua Fighter. Like, if both players know what they're doing, then the game is super fun to play, and it's super fun to watch. Like the match vids on YouTube and Nico Nico. Like, go on YouTube and, like, type in JoJo ASB and look up one of Ars Magna's videos that he takes from Nico. Or if you got a Nico account, even better. Because, like, their netcode's way better over there, and, like, they just have such great matches. But if you got two players that have just played the game, it's just so painful to watch. Like, I couldn't stomach more than a minute of that mystery game tournament. Because you would have guys like Poochie versus Lisa Lisa. And Lisa Lisa would try to combo into her super off of a jab. And then Poochie did an easy beat, and they're like, oh, this guy knows combos? Yes. The thing with the launch period, and why so many people are down on the game, like, that launch was probably one of the worst launches of a fighting game in history. Like, Super Nintendo knockoff fighter made by some nobodies bad. It was basically a $60 alpha. Most of the gameplay systems were barely implemented. For example, they forgot to program throws to do damage. If you punish something with a throw, the person could throw break. They forgot to implement frame data into the jumps, so they started and ended instantly. So it was like the best way to move, so you would see people just like grasshoppers, boing, boing, boing. The infinites, as you said. The guard gauge didn't work right. You couldn't combo into Ultra at all. Oh, sorry. You couldn't combo into Ultras at all. So you couldn't combo off of specials, you couldn't combo off of any normals. So you had have to have 3 bars, do a combo, do that flash cancel, and then do the Ultra. It was really dumb. You also couldn't cancel sweeps into... You couldn't cancel sweeps into special moves at all. So characters... I don't have any idea how they expected characters like Kakyoin or Caesar, who, like, depend entirely on doing special moves off of sweeps, how they were supposed to be played. And most characters, like, most of the cast had moves, like, they didn't really figure out what the moves were supposed to do. Like, the developers, like, the moves were just there. The moves were just there, they didn't really figure out, like, what they were supposed to do, they were just references to look at. And then, there was a ton of backlash from everybody, because fighting game fans weren't happy, and story mode people, like single player people, weren't happy, because story mode was crap. And then on top of that, there was the campaign mode, which, if you went in there, today it says 2 minutes to recharge a battery, because it's like a free-to-play style recharge, right? Microtransaction sort of fishing, but Now it's completely benign, it's just annoying to wait for, but back then it was 20 minutes per little tab, per little charge you had to wait for. It was insane. And then in response the producer said, "Oh, it's a JoJo game, it's not a fighting game, don't take it seriously," but he took it seriously when people returned it in droves, let me tell you. Like, if you run into someone and they just can't stop spitting vitriol about this game, it's because they played it during the launch period. It wasn't until patch 1.3 that the game started to take shape. So they had that launch period for like a month, then they released patch 1.2, which made the game worse because the combo system was completely trashed. You couldn't really combo off anything because they made it so you can't juggle people at all. And then patch 3 changed all the gameplay systems, like all of them, so that they actually worked. They actually found out ways to make it work, and people were really happy. People were just like, they just needed balance patch, and then they released patch 1.4, which was a huge, like, almost 40 pages worth of patch notes, changes to characters, like, as much as like, some of these patches are like going from Street Fighter 4 to Super Street Fighter 4. That's how huge these patches were. And yeah, now the game, it's a little bit clunky because it's 30 frames and the hit stop is a little bit too much. And the walk speed isn't as fast as some people would like. But like, people look at me and people look at some people like they're crazy for swearing by this game, but we're not talking about and we're not playing the same game. And it's such a shame they never addressed the netcode, because there was a community for this game. People were interested in playing this game. They were interested in playing this at tournaments. It was featured at tournaments. It was in a big it was a main stage game at a big French tournament in France. It was a side game at EVO. I think there was a character auction tournament too at some point down the line. Here, I'll do this one match since you waited so long.